If you're moving to North Texas and you want newer homes, easy lake access, and shorter commutes to various attractions, Little Elm should be on your list. This town boasts 66 miles of shoreline on Lewisville Lake, which by the way is the most of any other city on the lake. It has a growing downtown by the water and prices that typically beat the flashier neighbors like Frisco and Prosper. By the end of this video, you have everything you need to know about Little Elm, Texas, like location, lifestyle, of course the real estate market, and some notable neighborhoods here. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Jeremiah. I'm a realtor here in Denton County, and I help folks just like you move or relocate to North Texas. So if that's something you're looking into, text me or book a free call with the link in the description. Now, Little Elm is on the northeast shore of Lewisville Lake here in Denton County. Here, you're north of Dallas, east of Denton, and just west of Frisco. So looking at commute times, it's about 50 minutes to downtown Dallas, about 55 to downtown Fort Worth, and about 40 minutes to the DFW airport. In Little Elm, you're pretty well connected to the rest of DFW because you've got FM 423 taking you south to the Sam Rayburn Tollway, also known as Highway 121, and that's mostly a toll road. El Dorado Parkway will connect you to the Dallas North Tollway. Of course, that's also a toll road. But then there's US 380 to the north and the Lewisville Lake Toll Bridge that links you to I-35E. Now here's a brief history of Little Elm. It actually started as a small lakeside outpost, but eventually it started to grow as DFW pushed north, especially after the Dallas North Tollway was expanded. So that brought more access to the lake and new road connections, plus the nearby job centers in Frisco, Plano, and the Colony brought more people to this area. So the current population sits right around 61,000, which is almost double what it was a decade ago. And here's a little fun fact. Little Elm is known as the town with the lake attitude, and you see why as soon as you hit the beach at sunset. So far, if this is helping you picture life in Little Elm, remember to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss a video. Now let's talk about some things to do in Little Elm, starting with Little Elm Park, which is right on the beach. So you get to swim and play volleyball on the sand courts, and you also find boat ramps, playgrounds, soccer fields, and hey, don't forget about those breathtaking views. Families also love the Cove at the lakefront, which is an indoor water park with slides and a lazy river. But if you're a little more adventurous, you can try cable wakeboarding at Hydros Wake Park, or if you'd rather have a more chill, relaxed day on the lake, you can rent out a boat or kayak at Cottonwood Creek Marina. Now, when it comes to the food scene in Little Elm, it's way more diverse than you might expect for a suburb on the lake. In the lakefront district alone, you can get your classic American food at places like Lakeside Bar and Grill, or try some of the delicious brisket at Tender Smokehouse. But Little Elm is also a secret haven for ethnic food, so you can also find authentic Tex-Mex at Barracuda or Los Jalapenos, and great Thai and Indian food as well. And for brunch, places like Leo's Brunch House are super popular among the locals. Now, the great thing about Little Elm is also how close it is to other attractions like the Grandscape and the Colony, and so much more shopping and dining options over in Frisco. But what do the residents think about living here? Well, on niche.com, Little Elm has an A- overall with the 4-star resident rating, and it's currently ranked in the top 500 most diverse suburbs nationwide. As far as schools go, you're gonna have 3 school zones in Little Elm. So most of the city is zoned to Little Elm ISD, which has a B- on niche.com. However, some of the east side neighborhoods, like some parts of Frisco Hills, are in Frisco ISD, which has an A+, and in some north and west pockets, you'll be in Denton ISD, which has an A- on niche.com. Now let's talk about the real estate market in Little Elm. So as of fall 2025, the median sale price is right around $432,000, which is trending up from earlier this year. And that's interesting because right now we're seeing some cooling in the DFW market, but Little Elm is still maintaining its demand as a very desirable suburb. You find a wide range of homes here, like older starter homes in the low to mid 300s, newer houses in master plan communities, which typically fall in the $400,000 to $700,000 range. And at the top end, you have the luxury new construction homes, and of course, lakeside properties from around $700,000 to over $1 million. Some of the builders you find here are Pulte, Highland, Perry Homes, Beezer Homes, Tri-Point Homes, and many others across Little Elm. If this sounds like something you want to check out, feel free to text me so we can look into the best options for you. Okay, now before we look at some of these neighborhoods in detail, let's quickly go over some other things that will affect your pocket. Right now, the overall cost of living in Little Elm is about 7 to 11% above the US average, and the property taxes typically land between 1.9% to 2.6%, which is relatively high. But remember that Texas has no state income tax, so keeping more of your income in your pocket will help to offset some of those costs. I also like to remind my clients to file for their homestead exemption, which a lot of people forget about, but that can significantly reduce your taxable value. At the end of the day, the Little Elm market is a great middle ground compared to the neighboring cities. You know, you got Prosper with median prices in the mid 800s and Frisco somewhere in the mid 600s. Then you've got the Colony, which has seen a significant correction with median prices in the high 300s at this time. And of course, you have Denton in the mid 300s. So ultimately, Little Elm is that sweet spot offering lots of value, especially with those beaches, because you know, we're in North Texas. The nearest ocean is more than 300 miles away. So having a beach right in your backyard is a huge plus. All right, so now looking at some of the specific neighborhoods in Little Elm, first you have Valencia on the lake, where you find builders like Beezer, First Texas Homes, and Tri-Point Homes. Valencia is known for lakeside trails, the newer builds, of course, some water view lots, and resort style amenities like the clubhouse, swimming pools, fitness center, tennis, basketball, and volleyball courts, fishing pier, and more than 80 acres of green space. So this is best for buyers who want that lake lifestyle for under $1 million, because your typical price here will be from about $450,000 to $800,000. Now it's important to note that this community is in a public improvement district or a PID, so you have some extra annual tax assessments for the public improvements like the amenity center, the trails. So that's a separate bill besides your property taxes. So next, let's take a look at Sunset Point, which is known as a more established neighborhood with the tree-lined streets, multiple amenity centers, playgrounds, trails, basketball courts, some fields, some parks, and pools, including a lagoon-style pool with a beach entrance. This is best for first-time and move-up buyers who want some community amenities. There's a huge variety of homes across different price points and different styles, so you most likely find something that fits your budget and your needs. The typical price range in this neighborhood is from about the mid 300,000s to 600,000. All right, next let's look at Frisco Hills, where you find some great homes built in the 2010s, neighborhood pool and parks, and great access to the freeways if you're commuting. Here you find an amenity center, a swimming pool, a splash pad, playground, and some hiking and biking trails. So this is best for buyers who want to stay in Frisco ISD without paying Frisco prices. And if you're going to be commuting a lot, you know, that access to Dallas North Tollway and 121 is a huge bonus. Now the typical price in this neighborhood is from the mid 600,000s to 900,000. Next we have Paloma Creek, which is this large master plan community with 4 pools, multiple playgrounds, a dog park, and miles of trails. So if you want great value and different amenities plus a variety of choices, this might be the community for you, because there are a lot of builders putting up homes in this area. Now your typical price here will be from the mid 300,000s to the mid 500,000s, and you find builders like Sandland and Highland Homes. Also note that some parts of this community fall in a municipal utility district or a MUD, and some of it also falls in a freshwater supply district. So that basically means you should expect some additional tax lines with your property taxes. Now we're moving on to Union Park, which is known for this 30-acre Central Park, and it has miles of trails, community events, resort-style amenities, and in some parts you even have front yard maintenance included. You also have Del Webb at Union Park, which is this 55+ community with its own amenities. So this is best for busy households who want a more low-maintenance living and community-focused buyers. If you're also an active adult who's trying to downsize, then the Del Webb section might be perfect for you. The typical price range in Union Park is from about $400,000 to $900,000, and in the Del Webb section you'll find homes from about $350,000 to $600,000. Also note that Union Park is in one of the sections of Little Elm that fall within Denton ISD. Now you might love Little Elm as it is now, but what does the future hold for this city? Well, first you have the multi-million-dollar US 380 expansion project that is transforming the commute in this area. And the project is taking 380 from a congested 4-lane highway into a 6-lane freeway expressway with overpasses. It's scheduled for completion in different phases over the next couple of years, but I know 2026 is supposed to be a big year where most of it will be done, and it will definitely enhance safety on those roads, plus accommodate, the explosive growth that's happening in that area. Little Elm's Economic Development Corporation is also focused on making the lakefront a year-round economic powerhouse. So they're adding high quality and diverse attractions, and some of the future and recent projects include the new businesses like restaurants and large retailers like Kroger and Target. Then you've got Little Elm Park undergoing some renovations and expansions, and of course there's a continued focus on strategic master plan communities and other mixed-use developments. Now if you want to know more about moving to Little Elm or the surrounding area, text me or book a call with the link in the description, and I'll see you next time. Take care.